What is up, guys? It's your girl once again doing one of these nocturnal live streams because throughout the day I just could not bring myself to vlog because I wasn't feeling my greatest and I had a few things to do. But, anyways, here I am. And today I wanted to discuss something that I have had pending in my clipboard for a little bit, but I really did not have something concrete to guide me, to serve me as an example as I film this. But recently we have this clown that I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about called Logan Paul, and then his issue with, you know, the video that he filmed in Japan and all that good stuff, or all that bad stuff, I should say. But anyways, that definitely helped me get my gears spinning for this one. So here I go. You guys ever notice how some people just cannot handle having power in the form of having money and fame and glory, and just the way people change? Some people don't. Some people can remain mature and humble and not really treat others like garbage. But every once in a while, or I guess I'm gonna be frank, I believe that this happens more often than it should. We have people like this man who just lose their mind just because they have power, and they think that their world is at their fingertips and that they can cause trouble because they can pay their way out of trouble. And then they just think that because you have money, bad stuff cannot come your way. And you have a way of just paying out yourself from trouble. You see what I mean? I just cannot imagine myself having a lot of resource, having a lot of power, having a lot of money, and being completely irresponsible about it. Not only that, but especially in a country that I'm not even native to. I would definitely, excuse me, I would definitely be the kind of person who I would be in my best behavior when I am somewhere far away from home, because it's important that I have respect and supply it in the event that I need to be guided while I'm away from home. See what I mean? It's like I cannot introduce myself as a foreigner who's going to cause trouble, because if I am lost or just need to be, um, what can I say, just sheltered during my stay, people are going to find me more likable, and they would be willing to open the doors to their home to help me out during my stay. But if I introduce myself as someone who completely has disregard for the place that I'm visiting, no one will feel compelled in any way to help assist out. See what I mean? So for me, my image is important to protect. And if I have something like money and power and all that, I definitely don't want for it to make me someone people feel like they have to frown at because I'm intimidating in the form of having power. So I'll keep you subjugated to me and I'll forget that you're human. You guys with me thus far? Because I'm not sure that I'm stumbling a bit with my words, but anyways, it's just that because I don't think that way and I cannot conceive it happening, it's really hard for me to begin to figure out just what goes through this person's mind to behave in the way that they do, what prompts them to behave in that way. Unfortunately, I have known of people who I have met personally who I did not necessarily know them to be like this for having money and power, but I have heard from others of the way they manifest. And I also make a few observations, and I can also see what they mean and the arrogance that accompanies people very often when they have um, resources and power and stuff like that. You guys, I don't know, but if you're someone who ever ends up in a very privileged spot and you have money and power, please be responsible with that. Because even if you think that you are immune and nobody can reach you or touch you or just compete with you in any way, do not make a fool of yourself. Do not take everything for granted. Just be normal, remain humble, and do nothing but good stuff with what you have, because what comes your way is a blessing, and you should just be responsible about it. It's important. If you have nothing good to say, nothing nice to say, or you don't intend on improving the quality of someone else's life, don't get involved. I think it's better if you just go your own way, mind your own business, but do not make someone else's situation worse intentionally. Um, if you have resources, definitely just try to help and improve the quality of someone else's life and be completely selfless about it. Because I have met people who, okay, they have the means to help and they begin to help, but for some reason, it doesn't come out of the kindness of their heart. And it turns out that they wanted something in return, like some kind of publicity or, just do something helpful for someone, but be genuine about it. People act like savages sometimes, and hello. Yeah, exactly. That's the word that he kept exploiting, how he's savage. Well, for me, savage means, someone who's like wild and terrible and all that. Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. Exactly. You see, that corruption, you use the best word there. How many times have we not seen this happen throughout history? That people in power, because they know they have power, they just abuse the crap out of it. And they think that others are less significant than they are because they have little, quote unquote, compared to them. Um, I have been treated like that a few times. Like, oh, you're, because of my position being a retail worker and not really aspiring for a college education, I have been treated like I'm a nobody. But I do not pick a fight with these people. I don't demand respect from them. It just comes naturally because the way I go about it is my truth never ever yells at anybody, it convinces. So I don't have to compete with this person to demonstrate to them why they are wrong. I just let my natural personality just speak for itself. And you ever meet someone who, if you've ever worked for the public, there's this person who you always greet and you're consistent with them, and for some reason they just treat you indifferently. But then maybe after a year or so, there comes a point when they just completely change their attitude. That has happened to me. When I was new, I started to, meet the customers that we get. And then eventually I got a good idea of who's a regular or people's shopping patterns. And it's usually elder people. Um, Three folks that I can think of that were like this, that they just wouldn't talk to you and throughout the whole transaction, and you're trying to greet them and provide customer service like usual and they just don't respond in any way, and in your mind you're like, are you mute? But then at some point they just blow my mind because they start talking and interacting, and it's like, oh, you can actually speak. So, but anyways, I just, with people like that, I always wonder what got them to think that way. What happened in their life to get them to be that way? Or have they always been that way? Um, I just find it interesting and intriguing because everyone has a beginning. So I just wonder what everybody's beginnings are. Um, and people who end up homeless, for example, let's pretend for a second that everybody who goes out in the street and begs for stuff genuinely has a necessity, like they're not lying about it. What happened for their circumstances? What happened to where their circumstances ended up to that extreme? I always want to know the root of the problem. A lot of degrees are worthless. It seems people love to boast, I guess, and forget the humble beginnings if they ever had it. It seems many are narcissists. You hit a very good point, Dimitri. And it's because some people are just born with the silver spoon and everything. So they don't have to work for their subsistence and things like that. So very easily they have a disconnection with the rest of the population, a disconnection from reality. Life is the greatest teacher. Let people discover the error of their ways. Exactly. Very good point. And then this kid is going through that to some extent. I don't think that he's really uh, understanding the severity of his actions, but somewhere down the line in the future, he will. Like, you don't suffer the consequences of something immediately necessarily, but yeah, I believe that any debt that you owe in life, you have to repay in some form. And this dude definitely owes uh, a lot of, how can I say this? I forget the word, but not just an apology, but a complete um, action to make up for the messed up things that he did. So, anyways, you guys, I believe that I have said everything that I wanted to say on this matter. I can't really hang out for very long, for I have to be up early tomorrow, but I will get back. I will do my best to overcome my physical challenges and not let that discourage me from vlogging like I normally do. Um, but yeah, I should be returning and keep the show running as best as we can. And yeah, you are correct. For example, people call me the computer guru or nerd, but I humble myself because I'm still learning and trying to help others. It seems that guy is a big child. Indeed, indeed. And for me, it's a lot of people used to call me, what was I good at? I know that there's something that people complimented me on, but uh, I'm not really thinking about it right now. But but yeah, I would always be like, I know that there's room for improvement and this and that, but I know that people, that's their way of complimenting you, but I like to be careful about compliments and not let it uh like the fumes go up to my brain, because I know that no matter how much I study something, there's something that will always be unknown. And even if I have a good technique, it's not perfect. So, anyways, Anyways, guys, thanks for showing up and hanging out with me for a little bit. I'll see you soon.